Afternoon, guys. A good 3-0 win today in the FA Vars third round against Eastbourne United at home. Corley, how did you see the game unfold today?
I thought first half they dictated midfield areas. I thought they were much more aggressive than us, landed on a lot more second balls than we did, and we really struggled to get our front players in the game because of that. So frustrated at half time, but the positive from today was that we was focused at the back. I thought Dan Coleman had a brilliant game today, really good with his communicating, and the back four was solid in front of him. And when you're not quite at it like we were last week in the final third, it's just important that we keep focus at the back, and we've done that. And you get in at 0-0, you're still in the game, and you can make some changes. And we brought Daltz on at half time, and I thought we made a huge difference in midfield. We were on top for 50 minutes of the second half in their midfield areas, and hence why we then got the decent quality into our front players and scored 3 really well worked goals today. And it was a little bit of chalk and cheese with 2 performance levels in the first half and the second half, but I thought the boys were fantastic, especially, as I say, in the second half, and the work ethic of the front 3. I thought Splatty was unplayable today, and out of possession he ran so hard for the team, and that just makes a difference. It makes it easier to get up the pitch, and they were pressing really well. It was a free, and great to see Jetchy come back and took his goal brilliantly. So it's a really good day at the office. We've still got to look at a few things with regards to how we started the last couple of games early on, but I'm really pleased to be in the next round of the Cup.
Matt, Corley mentioned there about the difference in the 2 halves. What would you put that down to?
I thought it was a little bit similar to last week, if I'm honest. I don't think we started the game particularly brilliantly last week, although it was probably in the front areas of the pitch last week that we were a little bit lacklustre. And in midfield, we did okay in the first half last week, and the back 4 were good. And I thought that, again, first half, I just feel like when Daltz isn't playing, we just lack a little bit of energy and maybe a bit of know-how that then obviously sparks the others. Doesn't mean the other players, but Brad's learning his trade. Finn Cotton's played in that role and was excellent last week. Not so much in the first half today. Daltz releases that, and I thought Chase was outstanding in the second half. Once we can release him a little bit hard at the pitch, and I'd say it's a little bit down to the opposition. You've got to give them a little bit of credit as well in terms of their midfield players and the way that they set their team up. And I just felt there was 1 or 2 individuals that weren't quite at it. Once we made the change, as Jamie said, the second half, I thought we got on the front foot in the midfield area, which then meant that our front players are in the game. And once these boys that we've got in the front areas are in the game, if they get enough touches, they're going to win games for us. And they've proven that. Jetchy's back in, 2 goals in 2 games. Like I say, I thought Splatty was outstanding. There's a real foil once he went through the middle today. And we're a little bit light with no Jack being cup-tied. And obviously Malachi being away on holiday this week, he's at a wedding, a family wedding, so it left us a little bit short. Hence, obviously Jalen coming on in that area, but he's got his goal. He took really, really well. After a little bit of a strange second touch that took him away from the goal, thought he was going to try and cross it. But like I say, I just think that maybe just the blend of the players that we're using, and we're having to do that. We've got injuries and people have obviously been missing, so we're having to do that. And I just feel like the balance potentially in the midfield area isn't quite right when we don't have a player like Daltz, who's obviously going to have an impact on any team with his experience. But like I say, but fair play. I thought second half, I thought we were really good. Yeah,
and a win in the Vars obviously is a competition that we know very well from last season. How much does it mean to a club like us to continue that run going forward this season?
It's so important. I mean, we had the game playing on the big TV in the change room today, and it just brings back so many fond memories for. It's not just the players and the management team; it's everyone associated with the football club. It was such an important run last year. It brought so many families together that have not seen each other for years. Some of the stories that you heard after the game, and I think it just reminds the boys that were with us last year, we're not that far away again. We're really not, and it's so important that if we put another 4 or 5 decent performances together in this competition, you're not far away from going back there. So it was really important, I think, for the boys especially that weren't here last year to see that and just visually see it on the video before the game. But yeah, it's important to all of us. It's clearly our main focus this year is to get out of step 5. But just the experience that we had at Wembley last year, is still a real possibility for us to get back there. So it was important to have a good performance today, get through to the next round, and then see how we get in the draw this week.
And Tuesday, we have a very important league game against the team that's top of the league at the moment, Larkfield. How are we going to prep for that, Matt? Bear in mind that the conditions are going to be a little bit different from a nice 3G pitch as we got here. It's going to be a full-on battle, I think, Tuesday.
Yeah, without doubt, look, we know what they're all about. We obviously know quite a lot about each other. They got the better of us in the cup final at the back end of last season, which probably left a little bit of a sour taste in our mouths. Going away from that, 'cause I thought we let ourselves down on the day. So we're fully aware of what they bring to the table. They've got some good players. They're obviously flying. They're in the last 6 games, same record. They've won 5, drawn 1. We've won 5, drawn 1. They've scored less goals than us, but conceded less. So it's a real battle between the two of us. But we do have to remind ourselves that it is only 3 points that's available, no different to the rest of the game. So all the games are just as equally important. And this is no different on Tuesday. Yes, the conditions are going to be tough. You look at the weather that's been this week and what's coming for the next couple of days. Yeah. If the game's on, it's going to be a real battle. I don't suggest it's going to be a great deal of football played, but I feel like we've got a real tight-knit group in there. And we're coming through some real tests. We've been to Chichester and won away. We've been to Dulwich and won. We've had some tough games here. We were 3-1 down and came back and drew against Stansfield. We was 0-0 with 2 minutes to go, and we've won last week. We've won another tough tie today against another little bit of an unknown quantity. So we've got a real good group in there, and they know what they're going into. They know the physicality of the game, what it's going to look like. We know everything we need to know about the opposition, and we're confident going there that, look, they're top of the league. So the pressure's just as much on them as it is on us. But these are the games we look forward to. It's what we like to do. We played in big games with semi-finals of the Vars last year, the final of the Vars, semi-finals of the playoffs, Kent Cup final. It's what we're here for. Yep. So so we're looking forward to it as staff and players, and I think we need to take if we can take our away support, we can turn that into an home game, and let's make it as horrible, as ugly as it might be, but we're good at that. We proved that last year.
Yeah, brilliant guys, well done. Have a good evening, and see you on Tuesday.
See you Tuesday.